Well, normally what we think data interpretation is all about one, either reading charts, or two, doing calculations, right? We so far have been thinking that DI is all about reading charts, read the charts, get the data, put it in a table, take out your calculator, start doing calculations. Yes, or even worse, start doing Vedic math, start doing short tricks with the calculations, all that stuff. So it is on the outline of it, from the big picture, if you see, it is basically that only. Where in charts you have your tables, you have your pie charts, your bar graphs, your line graphs, and your miscellaneous charts, wherein you have say bubble charts, or you have candlestick charts, you have other charts that are very rarely asked. Yes, however, 2024 onwards, we've seen a sudden spike here also, right? Bubble charts have come in 24, 25. We have seen questions from candlestick chart, normally that people don't really look at, right? Take a radar chart into example, so on and so forth, okay? Now, the other part, obviously, buenos noches is good night, buddy. So, it's Snee, you're basically giving me a goodbye. You're telling me good night, sir, go to sleep. So no buenos noches, okay? Buenos evening, whatever it is. Cool. Now, the other part, which is calculation, that involves your basic calculation, your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, which your calculator can very well handle. Your calculator can very well handle this. So you don't have to get into learning how to add numbers, how to subtract, how to multiply a 3-digit number with another 3-digit number by using the Japanese technique. You don't need all of that, man. All of that means nothing in CAT. Yes, you remembering tables, you remembering powers, you remembering square roots and all that is only for you to apply a logic, which you can any day open up the calculator and do some trial error and get it out, okay? So I don't believe in memorizing powers or memorizing, multiplication tables and all that, but it is helpful. I'm not saying it's not helpful, but it is helpful when you have to say, find out the factors, what numbers can divide this number, so on and so forth, okay? And maybe increase the speed a little bit. But then for generic calculations, your memory would not be helpful at all, because you will be under a lot of pressure then. Under pressure, if I ask you to multiply a 3-digit number with another 3-digit number without using calculator, with using lines and all, that is nonsense, man, right? Then the other ones are percentages. This is very, very important. You have to be comfortable with percentages. You have to be comfortable with ratios. You have to be comfortable with averages. And you have to be comfortable with the basics of equations, right? You might not have to end up finding the roots of a quadratic or a cubic equation, but a simple linear equation can be handed off to you with the help of a chart or something where there are variables, and you might have to solve it, right? Apart from that, it doesn't go too deep into, say, logarithms or get into functions and all. That doesn't happen with DI, okay? At least so far it hasn't happened. Now, there is a third aspect also. There is a third aspect also, which a lot of people don't consider, which is this part, A and A. What does A and A mean? The first A stands for analyze. The second A stands for answer. Analyze and answer. Yes, this is very, very important, because there will be some questions where if you decide to start doing calculations, for example, it might take up a lot of your time just to answer which of the following had the greatest changes, or which of the following had the largest ratio or the largest average. Sometimes, just sometimes, you might actually answer those questions without the help of calculations also. So today, that's going to be our agenda, how to deal with these kind of questions without really doing proper calculation, okay? So I have a simple example in front of you. Can you answer this question? Which year saw the maximum growth rate? I am assuming you guys already know about growth rate. Do you know what growth rate means? Right, Athar. Analyze and answer. Yes. What do you mean by growth rate? Growth means what? Change. Growth means what? Change. I'll write it here. Change. When they say growth rate, what does it mean? Change compared to something, right? Change compared to something, some base value. And usually this is in terms of percentage. So you multiply it with 100, right? This change is nothing but the difference, and then you find it out. Looks like cannot be determined, right? Why? Why is it cannot? We've got no values, yeah? We've got no values. We've got given 2021, 2022, 2023, but we have no values. What do? Here is where you use analyze and answer. Now, let's say a simple question like this was thrown at you in CAT. It wouldn't happen, but let's say something like that pops up where there are no values. How do you tackle it, right? Simple. You will have something to measure, right? You will have along with you might not have a scale or a measuring tape there, but you will have your ID. So for example, you take your Aadhaar card and you notice that the difference between 2021 and 2022 is one Aadhaar card. Yeah. So what do you see? 2021 to 2022, you notice that there is one Aadhaar. Okay, the change is one Aadhaar. Okay. But the problem is what? I still don't have the base value here. I still don't have the base value. I know the change, the difference between these two is one Aadhaar card. But what about the base? Without the base, I can't do anything. Moreover, to add more to our trouble, if you notice 2022 to 2023 is the same Aadhaar. Yeah, 2022 to 2023, same Aadhaar. So if I look at 22 to 23, I notice that it is same one Aadhaar difference only. Yes, but what do I notice? Again, there is no base value. There is no base value here. There is no base value here. So then how do I compare this percentage growth and this percentage growth? How do I compare it? How can I say if it's 21 to 22 or is it 22 to 23, right? Let's say now, if I were to add these lines, again, there are no numbers, there are no numbers. I'm just adding these lines. These lines were given to you. Now, can you answer? With the help of these lines, can you answer now? I think now we can do it, right? How? Now we no longer have to take into consideration our Aadhaar because now I know that the difference between 21 and 22 is this one line. Yes. The same 22 and 23 is one line. But with 22, I know that the base is going to be what? 21's value, which is 2 bars, correct? Yes. So now if I replace this, if I say it is 1 bar upon 2 bars into 100, now I can calculate the percentage change. Yes. Is it possible now? Of course, now it is, right? 1 bar is the difference, is the change. The base is 2 bars. Now I can calculate the percentage change because whatever values the bar has, right? Whether it's tens, hundreds, 2000s, 10,000, 5, 22.35 doesn't really matter because it gets cancelled off, right? And ultimately, what do we have? We have half of 100, which is 50%. Yes. How about in the second case? What do we notice? Again, the difference is still 1 bar only. The difference is still 1 bar only. But look at the base. Now the base is for 2023, you will compare it with 22, correct? What do you notice? 1, 2, 3 bars. So this is basically 1/3 of 100, correct? Which comes up to how much? 33.33%. Now you can say this, right? Now you can clearly say which had a greater growth, which had a larger growth, which one had the maximum growth. Obviously, 50% is greater than 33.33. Am I right? Obviously, 50% is greater than 33.33. Would you agree? Yes. So now I can for sure say that the growth from 21 to 22 was greater. So I can say that 2022 is my answer. Agreed? 50% is greater than 33%. We all know that. So 2022 will be the answer because from 21 to 22 was the maximum growth compared to 22 to 23. Am I right? Now imagine if this thing had values also. Now you can easily calculate how. You know that each of these bars is 10, 10, right? This is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now you can calculate with the values. Ultimately, you will get what? Same. This was difference is 10 upon 20 into 100, which is again 50%. What about here? Again, the difference is 10 upon 1, 2, 3, 3 bars, that's 30 into 100, which is again 33.33%. Yes. You all agree with that, right? So again, I know that 50% is greater than 33.33%. So even with the help of the actual values, I can still get 2022. If the values are not given, but if there are grid lines given, these are called grid lines, right? If these grid lines are given to us or guidelines are given to us, I can definitely answer it. But what if I tell you, whenever they ask you a question where you are comparing things, yes, whenever they're asking you a question where you are comparing things, you can actually do it without the grid lines, without the actual value also. So this is where you have to be very comfortable with fraction comparison. If you are good, if you are comfortable with comparing fractions, you could have actually answered that question without the grid lines, without the numbers also, and I'll show you how. Okay, so what do we notice here? We'll take 6 cases into consideration. Okay, let's talk about the first one. Between 3 by 5 and 4 by 5, can you tell me which value is greater? Quick. I need you to be quick now. Be quick. Between 3/5 and 4/5, which is greater? Soon? You can, Sangram, because ultimately they are only asking us to compare them. They're not asking us the value. If they'd asked us what is the actual value, that would have been a little tricky, but otherwise you can definitely do that. Which is greater? Hey, Arpita. No, no. 4 by 5 is greater. Yes, 4 by 5 is greater. Yeah. 3 by 5 is 0.6. 4 by 5, this is 0.6. This is 0.8. 0.8 is greater, yeah. Okay, or to let me go down to the extreme basics. Let's go back to school, and that too not your 10th and 11th standard, right? Let's go down to our second, third standard. Let's say you have a pizza, right? You have a pizza, an uncut pizza. What you're doing first is you're cutting them into 5 slices. Okay, you're cutting the pizza into 5 slices. Out of that, you're giving 3 to one person and 4 to another person. Who would have more pizza? Obviously, the guy who has 4 parts out of 5, right? Out of 5, this guy has only 3. Out of 5, this guy has 4. This is greater, yes? Hey, Sai, don't even have to go that far, man. Don't even have to go that far. You don't even have to do this. What we notice here is, listen, whenever you have the same denominators, listen to this very carefully. Whenever you have the same denominators, yes, whichever numerator is greater, that value will be greater. End of story. If the denominators are same, do you notice the same denominators here? 5 and 5. Whenever the denominators are same, yes, whenever the denominators are same, yes, both the denominators are same, whatever is the relation between the numerators. So let's say if n2 is greater than n1, then this fraction will be greater than this one. Or if n1 is greater than n2, then this fraction will be greater, because numerator matters here. Understood? So whatever is the relation between these two will be the same relation between these two. Understood? Simple fractions, yeah? Simple fractions. Now let's bring a small twist here. Small twist. The second case, try this. Can you tell me which value is greater? Can you tell me which value is greater? Is it 13 by 15 or 13 by 18? Think about it. 13 by 15 is greater. Yeah. Why? You have the pizza. You're cutting, let's say you have 2 pizzas. You're cutting one in 15 parts, the other in 18 parts. So you're cutting the second pizza into more number of parts. That means size of each slice will become smaller. Yes. And then you're giving 13 to this guy, 13 to this guy. However, this guy's 13 is out of 18, but this guy's 13 is only out of 15. Less number of slices means more pizza. Got it? So here what happens? This value will be greater. So in the second case, what do we notice? When the numerators are same, what happens? Whichever denominator is smaller, that fraction becomes larger, yeah? So same example, if I say n by d1 and n by d2, yes, if d1 and d2, these two are different denominators, if d2 is greater than d1, then here it will become ulta. Here it will flip. Because you are making more pieces. If the denominator is larger, the whole fraction drops. Understood? Clear? Sangram, that's all that DILR is all about. It's just bunch of basics put together and then they make a big set out of it. Yes, you get comfortable with these basics, your entire set automatically gets solved there. Okay? Cool, understood this one? Now let's bring another twist to this. What about this? What's happening here? Now neither the denominators are same nor the numerators are same. Now can you answer, can you tell me which one will be greater without using a calculator? Obviously I'm assuming you're not using a calculator here. Can you tell me which of these values are greater? Correct Atharv, yes, yes. Which is greater, is it 5 by 9 or 3 by 11? So what do I notice here? I notice that these two values are not the same. Okay, that's sad for us. But what do I notice? I notice that from 3 to 5, my numerator is increasing. And from 11 to 9, my denominator is decreasing. That means I'm cutting the pizza into lesser number of pieces. That means more pizza per slice. And I'm also giving more number of slices to the other guy. More number of slices upon less number of cut slices. That means more pizza per slice. Yes. So whenever you notice that between two fractions, if the numerator is increasing and the denominator is decreasing, when the numerator increases and the denominator decreases, what happens? The other fraction will always be larger. Because from here to here, the numerator increased. From here to here, the denominator decreased. More numerator, more fraction. Less denominator, more fraction. So ultimately more fraction. Cool? Yes, everybody? Got it? Yeah, I'm not even getting there, Mansi. You don't even have to do that is what I'm saying. I know you're doing cross multiplication. You don't have to do that, yeah. If you notice that your numerator is increasing and your denominator is decreasing, you can be rest assured that this fraction will be larger. Understood? Yes. Now let's bring another twist here. What about now? What do you notice here? Quick. 7 by 15 and 5 by 18. Which fraction would be larger? Will this be larger or this be larger? Which one would have the larger value? 7 by 15 or 5 by 18? 7 by 15, yeah? Everybody say 7 by 15. Why? Simple. What's happening here? 7 to 5, the numerator decreases. 15 to 18, the denominator increases. As the denominator increases, our fractional value drops. To add to that pain, now our numerator is also decreasing. Yes. So whenever this happens, what would happen? If your numerator is decreasing and your denominator is increasing, that means the value is actually getting decreased. From 7 by 15 to 5 by 18, the value is dropping. So this is greater, this is lesser. Perfect, perfect. Good one, everybody. Yeah. Now with the same ideology, can you answer this one? Use this ideology. Can you answer this one now? 4 by 7 and 8 by 11. What's the problem here? I see a small bit of problem. What's the problem? 4 to 8, the numerator is increasing. Beautiful. However, from 7 to 11, the denominator is also increasing. Man, my numerator is increasing and my denominator is also increasing. That's contradicting, right? If my numerator increases and my denominator decreases, I know this value will be greater. Or if my denominator is increasing but my numerator is decreasing, I know that the value will be lesser. But this time it's crazy. No. In this case, Atharv, look carefully. Here, numerator is also increasing, denominator is also increasing. Now we are stuck, right? Now I can't use this logic here anymore. But what do I notice? I notice that I can do something to make the numerator or the denominator equal. What can I do? I can make it proportional, right? 4 by 7, if I multiply with 2 and 2 in the numerator and denominator, what happens? This becomes 8 by 14 and this becomes 8 by 11. Now tell me which is lesser or which is greater? Same denominator, same numerators, different denominators. So whichever has the lesser denominator will have the greater value, yeah? So if this is greater, this will be greater. So now in this case, what happened? If numerator and denominator both are increasing or numerator denominator both are decreasing, but you can do something to make it proportional. If you can do something to make it proportional, you can always compare with one of these two cases if you can make them equal. Yes. So what did I do? I made the this fraction I multiplied with 2 and 2 to make it 8 by 14. So now it becomes easy for me to calculate. How about this one? Can we try anything here? Is there anything we can try here? 4 to 11, nothing proportional. 7 to 18, nothing proportional. So I'll either have to take LCM and then try this out, or this is where you have two options. When you end up in a situation like this is where you have two options. Option number 1, you use cross multiplication. Yes, you use cross multiplication, which a lot of people already know. Yeah, so what do? Multiply 4 and 18, multiply 7 and 11. Now compare them. So 4 and 18 is what? 36, 72. 7 and 11 is 77. Which value is greater? 77 is greater? Yes. That means 7 into 11 was greater. That means this particular fraction was greater. Yes. Got it? 11 by 18 is greater than 4 by 7. Yes. Now, this is still okay, but there will be situations where even cross multiplication becomes annoying. That is where you don't think too much. You directly jump off to your calculator. You don't overthink it. You don't try to act smart there. You don't waste a lot of time simply cross multiplying things, because the numbers could be complicated. Let's say this one was 45 and or 47 and this one was say 83, this one was 92, this one was 114. Why are you going to sit and multiply terms when you can always do what? Jump to the calculator. Yes, jump to the calculator and simply say, boss, I am in dire need. Please help me here. Yes, just simply say, I am in dire need. Please help me here. 4 by 7 comes up to 0.57. And 11 by 18 comes up to what? 0.61. Which is greater? 0.61 is greater. End of story. Cool? Yes, so since you have an on-screen calculator, you've paid for it, man. When you pay for the application, you pay for the calculator as well, right? So when you end up in a tough situation like this, a chaotic situation like this, right? Don't try and act smart. Don't try to use some, cross multiplication or taking the LCM and all that stuff. You have the calculator, will fetch you the answer in milliseconds. Just get it over with. That's it. Cool? Done? Now that we have learned this, now can you answer this question again? Answer this question again. This time I do not have any grid lines. I do not have any values, nothing. No grid lines or guidelines, no values. Now can you answer this? Will it still be cannot be determined? No. So if I notice that the difference is still one Aadhaar and one Aadhaar. So from 21 to 22 and 22 to 23, what can I notice? I notice that this is one Aadhaar upon some value. This is also one Aadhaar upon another value, but this time what is happening? This denominator is smaller than this denominator, correct? This denominator is smaller than this one. This is a larger denominator. Yes. So now you can say which one will have the largest fractional value? Which one will be greater? Correct, Karan. Yes, man. Yes, yes, yes. Simple. Since the numerators are the same, and with the denominators, this is a smaller value, this is a larger value, I know this will be greater. So now I can say the answer is 2022 is actually greater. Did I need values? Nah. Did I need grid lines? Nah. This is called analyzing an answer. Simple as that. We simply analyze them. We simply say that, yeah, this bar looks smaller, this one is larger, and the difference is the same. That means we are good to go. Cool, everybody got it? Quickly drop a cool in the chat if you understood it here, so that we can move on to the next concept. Perfecto, Atharva. Yes. Beautiful. Yes, Mansi. A and A. Analyze and answer. Cool. Super. Now try this one. Try this one. Sangram, you can try it here. You can try it here. Try it here. Quick, go for it. This time I have given you grid lines. But see if you don't want to use it also. If you don't want to use it also, you can still answer this one. Try it. Karan says A. Nice. Palak says A. Superb. Very good. Very good. Very good. Yeah. So what's happening here? What do I notice here? Maybe, so they have a bar graph where you have A limited, B limited, C limited. So the blue ones are A for 21 and 22. Orange ones are B. The gray ones are C. Now they want us to check which company saw the maximum growth rate. Again, same maximum growth rate from 21 to 22. That is, they want us to compare this value with this value. See how much is the growth from here to here. Yes. So if I were to ignore the other bars, what do I notice? What can I notice? I can notice that the difference is just one bar, correct? Only one bar difference. Yes. Same way, if I look at the orange ones, I notice that it's still same one bar difference. See, from here to here, just one bar difference. And for company C also, I notice, what do I notice? It's still just one bar only. So for all the three companies, A, B and C, what do I notice? The difference is one only. Yes, but the denominators, this is smallest, this is larger than this, but this one is the largest. Yeah, so you know that the fraction is going to look like what? This will be larger because same numerator, smaller denominator, larger value. End of story. Same denominator, largest value. End of story. So I know that A will have the maximum. But if I have grid lines, these guidelines, I can still calculate the actual value. How? I can calculate the actual percentage also. So this is 1 out of how much? 1, 2. 1 by 2. This is 1 out of how much? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1 by 4 and gray one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 1 by 7. So now you can calculate the actual value also, yes or no? You can use the actual value now. This is how much? Half is 50%. 1/4 is 25%. 1/7 is how much? 14.28%. So ultimately, we were right to understand this. When we analyzed it, our analysis was right. A had the largest growth. Done? Simple, yeah? Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Got it? So now you know how to, even if the values are not given, or let's say you don't want to get into the values, you can still do the calculation without having actual values, okay? Let's try one more now. Have a look at this. Try having a look at this, folks. Here, earlier we had percentage. This time we have ratio. Whoa. Sir, how did we jump from percentage to ratios? Are percentage and ratios different? Think about it. Are percentage and ratios different? For example, if I say 15 percentage, or let me take a simpler value. Let's say if they've given us 20 percentage, what is 20 percentage? What is 20 percentage? 20 percentage is nothing but 20 by 100. Am I right? 20 percentage is 20 by 100, which is nothing but 20 is to 100. So your percentage is the same as ratio. Only thing is what? This part is this 100. Yeah. So whether it is fractions, I mean whether it is percentage or ratios, both are born from the same mathematical concept of what? Fractions. Fractions is the mother concept here. Yes. Fractions is how, you just modify it a little bit, it's percentage. You modify the way you talk about it, it becomes ratios. That's it. Fractions is the big boss here. Cool? Got it? Atharv, yes. Yeah, which is 1:5, exactly, yes. So whether I say 1:5 or I say 20 percentage, both mean the same. Cool? Now let's answer this question, shall we? Seems a little complicated, sir. How do we do this without value? Because what they're saying is, the gender index is the ratio of difference between the number of boys. So I'll erase all of this off. Yeah, I'll erase this. Now that we have proven that percentage and ratios are all just fractions, they're saying this is the ratio of difference between number of boys and girls. 2. Whenever ratio is in the picture, look out for this word. Whenever ratio is in the picture, always look out for this word 2, because that's the denominator part, okay? So difference between the number of boys and girls, which is boys minus girls or girls minus boys, whichever is greater, okay? Boys minus girls or girls minus boys, doesn't matter. To the number of girls, which is this. Am I right? When I say ratio, I do it like this, right? To the number of girls, which is nothing but A is to B is the same as A by B. Yeah. So again, we've been given what task? We have been given what task? The task of looking at the difference between boys and girls and divided by the number of girls. End of story. Cool. End of story. So they are asking again, look at the question. They're not asking what is the value of the gender index of a particular school now. They're asking which school has the maximum gender index. So now think about this. If I want this entire fraction to be maximum, what should I do? I should ensure that my numerator is maximum and my denominator is minimum. Yes, if my numerator is higher, my denominator is much lower, I can get a larger fraction. You all agree with that? Can we try that same thing here? Yeah, can we try that same thing here? So what do I notice? With school A, orange is number of girls, right? Number of girls is at a maximum compared to school 2, school 3, school 4. School 1 has maximum number of girls. Do I need maximum number of girls? No, I don't need maximum number of girls. I need minimum number of girls. So minimum girls is where? Here we have minimum girls. Same equal number of girls here also. Here the number of girls are more. Yes. So now I'll have to look at the numerator also. So I found out minimum number of girls. Now let's look at the numerator. What's numerator? Difference between boys and girls. Yes. So look at this. This is the difference between boys and girls, which is how much? 1, 2, and 3 bars. Yes. How about here? 1 and 2 bars only. So tell me, if the denominator is same, if the denominators are same, one bar difference this one has. Which one will have? Numerator is greater here. So between school 3 and school 4, can you compare? Between school 3 and school 4, what do I notice? School 3 has 2 by whatever same value. School 4 has 3 by the same value. Which is greater? 2 by denominator or 3 by denominator? Denominators are same. Which one will be greater? School 4 will be greater. That means school 3 out of the competition. Let's compare school 2. With school 2, what do I notice? I notice that the numerators are same. See, 1, 2 and 3 bars here also. Man, now between school 4 and school 2, I have to check, right? School 4 and school 2, I have to check. What do I notice? The numerators are same, 3 only. 1, 2, 3. The difference between boys and girls is 3. But what do I see? This denominator is much lesser than this denominator. This value is what? Larger. Tell me which one will have greater value. Which one will have greater value? 3 by some value or 3 by a larger denominator? Here the denominator increases. So ultimately what happens? This is still the larger value. So I can eliminate school 2 also. Now what about school 1? What about school 1? Look at the numerator. 1, 2. Numerator 2. Denominator much higher. So school 1 is also out of the picture because numerator is also decreasing. 3 becoming 2, numerator is decreasing, denominator is increasing. Answer is school 4. End of story. Got it, everybody? So what's the gist of this question? What's the importance of this question? Fractions, ratios, percentage all belong to the same family. Don't panic. Don't panic. Got it, everybody? Cool? Quickly, let's see you drop a cool in the chat. Let's go. Nice. Let's move on now. So I'm putting the values also. If you want to reconfirm, if you want to check, I'm adding the values later, but we don't really need those values. Yeah. Try this one. Try this one. Which school has the maximum average of the number of boys and girls? Number of boys, number of girls, average they want. Yes, number of boys, number of girls, average they want. Which one will have the maximum? Can you do it without these lines? There are no lines here. Without these lines, I want you to tell me the answer. Don't compare the lines. Simple, yes, simple, yeah. Yeah, no values given to me. Even if I remove of the guidelines, I can still answer this. Why? What do you mean by average? What is average? Average is nothing but, in this case, average will be what? Sum of boys and girls by 2, correct? Sum of the number of boys plus number of girls divided by 2, correct? Yes. So if I look at this, whichever will have maximum boys plus girls, if boys and girls sum is maximum, average will be maximum. Yes. That means boy should also be maximum, girl should also be maximum. Where do I see it? Yeah, this one I can eliminate. Why? Number of boys, if I compare it with school 2 alone, I am done. See, number of boys is greater than this, than this, than this. So number of boys maximum is here. Girls maximum is technically here. Girls maximum is technically here. But if I compare it with this, I know that this one is out because this is lesser. This is also lesser. So this is gone. This is gone. School 3, school 4 is gone. Between school 1 and school 2, what do I notice? Between 1 and 2, what do I notice? Look at this. Although here girls are maximum, here girls are lesser, here boys are lesser, here boys are maximum. So now the tough competition begins, right? Since it's average, what's average? Between two values, what's average? The middle term. Yes or no? What's the average of, say, 5 and 7? Between 5 and 7, what comes? 6. So 6 is the average. So I'm looking at the middle value. What's the midpoint of these two? Here. This is the midpoint. What's the midpoint of these two? Here somewhere. Yes, this would be the midpoint. Which is greater, this or this? This is greater. Finish. School 2 is our answer. School 1 is out. Got it? I'm not even using these lines. See, that's what I'm trying to show you. I'm not even using these lines. I'm just plotting a point between these two. Between these two, this seems between. Between these two, this seems between. I know that this is greater. See, this is greater than this. End of story. Finish. School 2 is the answer. Yeah. Mind you, Sangram, Atharv, I am not calculating was. You are the ones who are calculating. I have not added any value. I have not even counted. This is okay. Okay, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is 5 and 6. So the middle one should be 5 point. I'm not even doing that, man. It's you who is doing it. Yeah. 5 and 7. Okay, the middle value will be. I'm not even touching there. I'm not even going there. It's you. Zero calculation. Analysis and answer. Analysis and answer is one of those methods which can take you a long way with a test like CAT or even XAT. If you know what each point in the graph means, you can get the answer like that. Yeah. Can we try one more? Can you try it here now? This time I've brought in a table. There's a table here and this is the sales. Okay, this is sales of different companies A, B, C, D, E across different months, Jan till June. So this is sales, okay, in whatever rupees, crores or whatever, doesn't really matter. These are the companies. These are the companies. And this is the month, okay. Can you tell me which product had the highest average? Average highest sales we need for a product. So this is not company, this is product. This is not even companies, this is product. Sangram, yeah, wherever it's possible, we will definitely add in ANA. For any question where we can do ANA, we will do ANA moving forward also. Okay. Product D. Atharv and Jaydeep are saying D. Karan is saying D. All right. Let's see. Over 6 months, that means what should I technically do? I should add these up, right? Product A, this would be the total. So I need to compare this total, this total, this total, this total, and this total, and check. From here, which one do I not have to do? A, B, C, D. So I don't even have to include E into my calculation. So E is thrown away. We don't need E. Now the question is, do you sit and add these up? Are they a big deal to add? No, these are simple values to add. I can any day add. But do I have to add? Let's compare. I know that sum of Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, if I have to compare, I can start comparing Jan value separately, March, Feb value separately, March value separately, April separately, June separately, May separately, and then do the comparison still. One and the same thing. So let's check. So if I look at A, see, which is maximum with A? 120, 100, 90, 150 is maximum. February, look at Feb, 140, 140, both are equal. This is the maximum, these are gone. 150, 130, 150 is maximum. 130 and 130, these two are equal, but still I know that because they lost heavily in Jan and Feb, these are out. Further, 130, 160, 160 is maximum. 160, 170, 170 is maximum. 170, 180, 180 is maximum. So I know B and C are out, boss. B and C gets out because maximum is either A or B, A or D. B and C, every time they are minimum, they get ruled out. Yes, every place they get ruled out, man. Useless B and C. So now my entire money rides on either A or on D. Now what do I notice? Look at this. If I look at the difference, right? If I look at the difference, 120, 150, this is at plus 30. 140, 140, 0. So still the difference is plus 30 only. 150, 130, this is minus 20, correct? 150 and 130, this is minus 20. So plus 30 minus 20 is what? Plus 10 only. 130, 160 plus 30. 10 plus 30 is plus 40. 160, 170 is plus 50. 170, 180 is plus 60. So I know that D is 60 more than A. D is my answer. I am not only comparing them, I am also looking at the difference. We call it delta. Yes, we call this value as delta. You represent it as a triangle or you represent it like this, right? Delta. We're just looking at the delta, that's it. Athar, that's a risk you're taking. No, man, you're taking a risk of guessing between A and D. That's risky. Because if you get it right, you'll get 3 marks, which is good. But if you get it wrong, you lose this 3 marks. This 3 marks is gone and you will get another -1. So you'll end up having a -4 effectively. You don't want that, man. Correct. Delta is the change. So I'm only looking at the differences, only looking at the changes. This is greater by 30. This is equal, so still difference is 30. This is lesser by 20. So from this 30, I reduce the 20. This is greater by 30. So in this 10, I added the 30. This is greater by 10. I added the 10. This is greater by 10. I added more 10. End of story. Cool? Yes. A and A. Done? Moving on. Try this. Try this now. The average sales of all 5 products together for which 2 months are equal. This time, what do they want us to add? Yaad no, Sangram. I'm not teaching you to memorize anything, man. Analyze is an art. I can't ask you to remember art. Yes, you have to practice. The more you practice, you'll get used to it. That's it. Analyze an answer is not memorizing. It's not a formula. It's not a process or a procedure. Okay, it's an art. Yes, it's an art. You learn that art. You practice that art. You become good at that art. Simple. Okay. Can you answer this? Average sales of all 5 products together for which 2 months are equal. That means this time what do they want us to do? They want us to add again. They still want us to add because average means what? What's average? Average is nothing but sum divided by. So this time average will be what? Sum of what? Each month. Correct? Because they are asking 2 months are equal. So I need to add up. For Jan, I need to do A, B, C, D, E by 5. This will be for Jan. Same for Feb, I will have to do A, B, C, D, E by 5. So I don't care about this 5 anymore. I only look at the sum. So they are asking which 2 months will have the same sum here, total. This total, which 2 months can have the same? Now, what do I have here? As an advantage, what do I have? Options. Yes, one of the best ways to use ANA method is to analyze the options as well. Bring in options into the play. Options are not your enemies. They are here to help you. You know that one out of these four should definitely be equal, yeah? One out of these four must definitely be the answer, yes? So what you're doing here is not first finding out the answer and then checking which option matches. No. You're taking the option and checking if it matches or not. Reverse engineering it. Yes. Let's see if we can try this. Jan and Feb, will they be equal? Jan and Feb equal for A? No, this is greater. This is greater. This is greater. Between these two, this is greater, but only by 10. Only by 10. Only here it is greater. Everywhere else, this is greater. Greater by 20, greater by 10, greater by 5, greater by 5. Only here it's lesser than 10. That 10 has no value compared to this 5, 5, 10, 20. No. So I know that it's not Jan and Feb. This is out. Yes. Can we do Feb and March now? Let's compare Feb and March. 140, 150. This is greater. So I'll use a different color now. This is greater. 110, 130. This is greater. 9500. This is greater. 140, 130. Just this is greater by only by 10. This difference of 10 cancel this off. So I know that March is greater than Feb. Gone. Yes. Can I check March and April now? Let's check March and April. March and April. What do I notice? March and April, this 150 is greater. 130 is greater. Here, this is greater. Here, this is greater. Here, this is greater. So now there is a shaky thing happening, right? Now there is a shaky thing happening. So I'll just quickly look at the difference. This is for April, I'll go, okay? I'll compare with April, okay? So this is minus 20. This is minus 10. So this is minus 30. This is plus 5. So this is minus 25. This is plus 30. So minus 25 plus 30 is plus 5. This is minus 5, it becomes 0. So these two are equal. Finish. Still only analyzing the values, only doing simple calculation of what? Delta. I'm only doing delta calculation, that's it. If I want, I can sit and add them up also. I can sit and add them up also. Of course, I can do that, sir. These are not very complicated values. Why do you want to? We can sit and add them up also. But if I can just look at it and do it, isn't that cool? Let's check for April and May. April and May, larger, 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 out. So had I analyzed the options correctly, they were all pointing towards option C. Finish. Clear? I don't even have to do addition. I'm not even doing addition here. I'm saying become lazy, man. Become as lazy as you can. Lazy is smart here. Yeah, you'll be like, sir, what are you saying? Why are you asking us to become lazy? Are you demotivating us to get into an IM or FMS or whatever your dream B school is? No, I'm giving you a smarter way of getting into it. Okay, cool. Done. Saw that? I didn't add them up. I could have. I've got my calculator also. I could have used a calculator, gotten these values in what, like 20 seconds tops. Each of these 20 seconds, I have what, 6 months, 2 minutes, I would have gotten all the values. 2 minutes should I spend or not? Worth spending it if I can get 3 marks out of it. But the same 2 months, I finished this, answering this up in less than 30 seconds. That means the remaining 1 minute and 30 seconds, I could have invested in a set that actually demands it. Got it? You save these times, right? These smaller drops of water you save, and then you end up filling up your entire cup or glass or bottle or whatever. Okay. Drop fills the pot. You know the Hindi translation of that, right? That's what we are trying to do. Every drop fills an ocean. That's all that we are doing here. Cool? Swagat, exactly. Now, does CAT check how you got the solution? Does CAT check how you did the work? No. Nobody's coming and looking at you like, no, cheating. No, sit and add. Do 150, 130. Okay, 150 in the mind, 130 in the fingers. Sir, I don't have 130 fingers. Where do I go? Borrow everybody. Borrow 13 people's fingers and start adding them up. Obviously not, right? What do you do here? You act smarter, right? All you have to do is compare. Every time they're asking us to compare, that's what we will do, man. They don't want us to find out the value. Are they asking what is the total? No. They are asking us to compare. That's all we will do. That's it. Do the bare minimum. Get out of there. Do the bare minimum, more than enough. Yeah. So this is, how many of you guys remember the set? Have you guys seen the set somewhere? Sangram. Just because I'm talking a different language doesn't mean I'll change my character, man. No repetitions. No. Please rewatch that bit. If you didn't understand the delta bit, please go back a little, take some time, rewatch that a little later. You will understand it, okay? Some of y'all are seeing this for the first time, okay? Rahul. Nice. Yes. Yes. This is a candlestick chart. This is from CAT 2024, slot 1. Are we going to solve this now? Definitely not. We'll do previous year questions together. Don't worry about it. But here I'm trying to show you something. Yeah. The kind of questions, because I'm focusing so much on ANA, right? I'm telling you ANA every time. Sir, do CAT actually ask questions like this? Look at this. Look at the questions. Out of the 4 questions asked, 3 questions are asking you to compare. Daily share price variability is defined as the day's high price minus the day's low price difference divided by average of the opening and closing prices, sum. What they are asking? Among A, C, D and F, which had the highest SPV. Only compare, don't find the value. Look at the second one. SPV, again definition they have given for some reason. How many shares had SPV greater than 0.5? More than half it should be. Compare. Don't find out the answer. Compare. No calculation, no values. Compare. Look at the third one. Daily loss is given. Again, daily loss is what? Difference divided by some value. Yeah, do you remember this? Opening minus closing by opening, similar to boys minus girls by girls. Similar to that one. Yeah. This is all that they're asking us to do again. Which among A, B, F and G had highest daily loss? Yes, look at the last one. What would have been percentage wealth gain for a trader who bought equal number of shares of all bullish shares at opening price and sold them at their... This will probably be the only question where I would have to do any calculation. This, compare. This, compare. This, compare. Yeah. For this entire set, I remember because I got this lot, I had the best time. I was literally smiling throughout this entire set because I did not do a single calculation for question 1, question 2, question 3. Although I don't mark the answers, but when I had written it in my paper, all I did was look at the graph and do analysis. That's it. Yes, A and A is the answer, man. A and A. You get better at A and A as and when you solve it, as and when you practice it. That's all you need. And imagine answering 3 out of 4 sets without touching your pen and paper. Isn't that fun? CAT never does that. CAT has stopped doing that, but suddenly in 2024 they dropped a brownie like this. Entire set was a brownie, man. Yes, exactly. To start using A and A. So what I'll do is I'll give you this as a personal assignment. Yes, take this up as a personal project. See if you can understand this chart. If you understand this chart well and enough, right? Otherwise, when we get into candlestick charts, we will get deeper into this set also. But see if you can try doing it just for the fun of it. Yeah, just for the sake of it. Cool. Exactly, Palak. Exactly. Yes. No, Athar. First one is also not extension because days high price they have given, days low price they have given, average of opening and closing price they have given. They've given everything. They just want you to do additional calculation. That's it. Me being the the lazy guy that I am, I did like this. And then just look at the graph and understand, okay, just compare these two. Okay, this seems larger. Eliminate this. Compare these two. This seems lesser. Eliminate this. That's all I've done. Okay. Got it? This is the set that we are going to do now. Have a look at the set. This one this set I'm giving you as a personal project if you want to do it just for the fun of it. Okay. We will take that set up when we get into candlestick charts. But now have a look at this set. This is what we are going to solve. Yeah. So I'll give you some time. See if you can try solving it. Go for it, folks. Let's go, guys. Ah, Rahul. Okay. So this, you gave slot 1 as your marker. I think there were couple sets that you could have done it easily, but yeah, this one was the easiest. Yes. Try doing this set, guys. You want to see the questions? Here they are. Hey, this is not 25 question, man. This is Athar. No, no. This is one silly question that I brought. You want to go back to the set? All right. So, what's the scene here, yeah? What's the scene with this question? Two colleges, college A and college B, had certain number of students in each of the first, second, third, and fourth years. Okay. The total students in each colleges were 420 and 550. So basically, what they're saying is college A has 420 students, college B has 550 students. Yeah, this is right. Correct? No. College A 420 students, college B 550 students. Correct? No, not correct. Why? Have they used the term respectively anywhere? So think about it. If this were 420, what would happen? 20% of 420, okay, I can calculate this. This is 84. 20% of 420, I can calculate this. This is 84. What about these values? 36.36 percentage. 36.36 percentage of 420 is actually how much? 152.712. 152.712. How can there be 152.712 number of students in a school or in a college? Is it possible? Well, you assumed it as 153. Isn't that too much of an assumption that you're doing? 152.7, you're saying it is 153. That's too much of an assumption, man. Yeah? No, 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 no. Always, if it is not given that it is respectively, whether they give you if it's respectively or not, yes, same problem would have happened here also. If I had assumed this as 550, me calculating 45 percentage of 550, 45 percentage of 550 is how much? 247.5. How can there be 0.5 people here, man? Ah, how can there be 247.5 people here? That's not possible. So then what? You'll assume this is 248. Is this 248? If you consider this as 248, the total won't match. Consider this as 246, the total won't match. What would you do? Huh? Crazy, right? You can't assume. Yes. Whenever, if it is not given to us directly, if it is not this part whether given to us or not, unless and until the word respectively exists, if this word is not given, you will not assume that the first one is first one and the second one is second one. Okay, be very careful. Yes. So I tried these values, it didn't work for me. This being 420 won't work for me. This being 550 won't work for me. I will have to take into consideration this as what? This is going to be 420. And this will be 550. Now I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Just based on one percentage, which is this one. Can you see this 36.36? 36.36 percentage, if I were to convert it into, say, fractions, what will it be? What's 36.36 percentage? This is nothing but 4 by 11. How do you know this, sir? How do you know this? Why do you assume 36.36 is 4 by 11 only? Can it not be some other value? I'll show you how. The trick is very simple. The trick is very simple. If your percentage is like this, okay, some two values dot some two values, both are same and both of these values are multiples of 9. Both of these values are multiple of 9. Then always know that the denominator will always be 11 and the numerator will be those numbers divided by 9. So what is this? This is 4 by 9. This is what? 4 by 9. Got it? 36 is 9 times 4, correct? That's 4 by 11, man. So imagine if this were 27.27, this would have been 3 by 11. Got it? Had this been, say, 81 by 81.81, this would have been how much? 911. Oh, no. No, no. Too dark. Too dark, especially now at this stage. No, 9 by 11, okay? Not 911. So now I can calculate the values like this. I know that this 36.36 percentage, this 4 by 11 can only work with 550. Why? Because this is also a multiple of 11. 550 is divisible by 11. 420 is not divisible by 11. This is not divisible by 11. That's why it did not work out here. 420 is not divisible by 11. Is it divisible by 11? No, it is not. Got it? Cool. So now I think you can fetch up these values. Can you fetch these values real quick? What is 10% of 40, 420? 42. So 42 plus half of 42, which is 21. That is 63. 30% is this double. 63 double is how much? 126. 45% will be the sum of these three. These two. 30 and 15, which is 9, 189. Finish. I have all the values 42, 63, 126, 189 for college B. And for college A, what will it be? 4 by 11. So by 11, when I do, this is how much? 55 by 11 is how much? 5. Yes. Getting this. So this is 50. 50 into 4, 200. 20% is 110. 20% is 110. Remaining will be here. So 330, 440. If I remove 440, how much is left? Sorry. 310, 420. 420 if I remove, this would be 130. Done? Finish. I have all the values. I have my bay ready. For college A, for college B, all the values I have. This is the table that I would end up making eventually. And then you can answer of the questions. Okay, so I leave off the questions for you to answer. This is your homework. Answer these questions. There are 4 questions. Answer them and drop the answer in the comments. Okay. Drop the answer in the comments. Cool. So always make sure that you understand DI is never pure DI. When we look at CAT, DI is never pure DI. There will always be a little bit of logical reasoning involved in there. It's your duty to identify that. Okay. So this is my Telegram group. If you guys have not joined it yet, please go ahead and do that as soon as possible. Done? All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mansi. Same to you as well. Cool, guys. So I hope you guys had a little bit of a different perception for data interpretation today. We did not do data heavy sets. We did not do heavy calculations. We did not, simply just read charts, get the data, make the table, start doing questions. No. That is not CAT's taste at all. CAT never will ask a DI question like that. CAT will always put in a logical twist there. Take last 10 years paper, right from 2017, if you look, right, none of those papers will have pure DI like they used to ask in early 2000s. So if you take early 2000s, right, 2010s, the 2000s and 2010s, if you look at those papers, right, you will notice that the kind of question they ask involves a lot of calculation, because at that time there was no calculator. Before 2014, they never gave on-screen calculator. That means calculation itself was a tough task for people. Multiplying two-digit numbers itself would blow people's mind off. It would take up at least 10 to 12 seconds. That would waste a lot of time there, right? So before that, they never had calculator. And ever since they introduced the on-screen calculator, what's the point in asking data heavy sets when they know that you just have to type in the values in the calculator and get it done? Yes. So they don't ask these Excel sheet kind of questions anymore, that if you enter all of those values in an Excel sheet, you'll automatically get the answer. No, they never do that. So DI is never pure DI in CAT. Please register that in your mind. Okay. So with this, I leave you for tonight. Try doing these questions. Drop them in the comments. Okay. Sangram. Alrighty. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a very good rest of the weekend. And weekend is just over. This is Monday. Because it's, holiday season. It feels like I'm working on a weekend today. But anyway, so I hope this helps you. All the very best. Yeah. Cheers.